It's been a while, Bruce. Huh? If you're a Holland Club member, meaning that you've been qualified for 50 years. Yes, wide angle. Jack, you're bringing up the rear. Gene is the only one that has the name of that. Get there. Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to be up there too. Everybody got a picture? Okay, let's call it to order. Would everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Chris, would you like to start us off? Myra's not here, Dan.
Let's pray. Dear loving Father, with grateful hearts we come together to lift up our submarine veteran family, all of us sailors who brave the ocean step to keep America safe. Lord, we're in awe of this incredible spirit and thankful for each and every one of them. Bless these wonderful men and women who chose to serve in the tightest quarters during precious moments of both laughter and challenge beneath the seas. Their stories of friendship, courage, and dedication touch our hearts deeply. We especially remember those precious shipmates now on eternal patrol. Wrap your loving arms around their families, Lord. Let them feel your tender comfort and know that their loved ones' brave spirits live on in our hearts and memories. For our sub-vets here with us today, our cherished friends and heroes, we ask for your special blessing. Some carry hidden hurts, some wrestle with memories that keep them up at night. Hold them close, dear Lord. Fill their hearts with peace and joy. Thank you for the beautiful gift of fellowship they share, that special bond that only submariners know. Help us treasure their stories, celebrate their victories, and love them through the tough days. With full and thankful hearts we pray. Amen.
USSVI Creed. To perpetuate the memory of our shipmates who gave their lives in pursuit of their duty while serving their country. That their dedication, deeds, and supreme sacrifice be a constant source of motivation towards greater accomplishments. We pledge loyalty and patriotism to the United States of America and its Constitution. Please remain standing for towing of the boats. USS Shark, SS-174, lost on 11 February 1942 when it was sunk by a surface craft east of Montello, Celebes Island as a result of one of 3 Japanese attacks. 59 men lost. USS Amberjack, SS-202-19, lost on 16 February 1943 by aerial bombs and surface craft off Raoul in the Solomon Sea. 1 additional killed earlier in the patrol. 73 men lost. USS Grayback, SS-208, lost on 26 February 1944 during a Japanese air and surface attack off Okinawa. 80 men lost. USS Carroll, SS-202, lost on 29 February 1944 during a Japanese surface attack in the Philippine Sea. 81 men lost. USS Barbell, SS-316, lost on 4 February 1945 during a Japanese air attack off the entrance to Palawan Passage. 81 men lost. In keeping with our USSVI creed, let us remain in a mood of reverence and respect while we take a moment to remember those submariners who have received their final orders and are now serving on internal patrol. Rocky Mountain Base Internal Patrol list for February. Alexander Nito, 2/26/2016. Richard Myers, 2/7/2022. Moment of silence. Please be seated. Holland Club, post. For most submariners, a submerged submarine provides a quiet and somewhat tranquil setting free of many of the distractions present in everyday surface world. So in keeping with that, we will take her down for our regular meeting. Clear the bridge. Take her down. Dive. All right, so we have quite a few new members and some guests. And we have 2 new people that have signed up. So let's go ahead and go around and do roll call. And Dick, why don't you start us off?
I'm Dick Fogg. I qualified on the USS Piper SS-409 in December of '64, and I escorted honorary associate member Terry Perillo today. And we both want to say how pleased we are with the change in location. So it really works for us.
Good. Good. Gary, why don't you start?
Gary Francis, on the USS Skipjack from 585 in memory of Super. We can have that qualified for Spain, SSN 74 in May of 1972. Randy Ackerman qualified on the USS Lenny in March of 1963. I'm one of the Chris Marino qualified on the USS Blueback in 1969. And I just moved here. I live in Lakewood. I'm here less than a year ago from California.
Oh, welcome. Welcome.
Do it.
Dean?
Gene Nagel, qualified on the USS Dogfish, 1963. And also served on the USS Sea Robin, 407.
Okay. Richard.
On my way to here's the night. Working on TV, there's a son.
Blue or gold? Hey, all right. To the back.
Michael Lewis, I call him. Done SFV in 630 blue, 1967.
And you're with?
I'm sure. 30 years.
Yay.
Qualified in 6 of 75.
Chris.
First place qualified, USS man going gold. That 1980. I qualified.
Robert,
Qualified USS John Marshall, SSBN 611 in November of 71. And the other half isn't here today because she's watching the puppy.
Welcome next time.
Yeah, I'll bring her next time.
it's a little big for a puppy.
Number 12 on USS Darwell, SSN 61. Plus, I was on 11 other boats. But I'm your cog and I'm also the duty crew.
Like, even though new members, qualified in 1978 for the USS Simon Boulevard, and then retired in 1993. So here I moved up from St. Louis, Missouri area, St. Charles. So maybe
All right.
Okay.
Mm.
Bruce Weller, qualified USS Fargo, SSN 650, in 1973. And my life will be 48 years this summer that we're married.
Right, a lot of people.
Cigars qualified in June of 1968 on USS Tuck, SS 426. I'm here with two of my lovely friends, members of this, employees of this region post. Roy Cervantes.
They're the ones that cooked up that wonderful lunch.
Good job.
Okay, Jeff.
Qualified on the USS George C. Marshall, SSBN 654 gold in January of 1981.
All right, Patrick.
Patrick Krause, I qualified on the USS Lewis Clark, SSBN 644 gold. July of 1978. It's my wife Eileen, 43 years. All right. Really the basic move master.
All right. Yes, Eileen. Wow, Dennis. You're facing the wrong direction.
First qualified was the John Adams, SSBN 620 blue, out of Squadron 14 in Holyoke. Second qualified was the USS Base, SSN 607, Squadron 10 Grunt.
All right. Hey, it's been a long time. Why don't you let us know where?
Yep. I've been here since 1996.
I qualified on the USS Pentado, SSN 672, in 1971. And this is my bunk mate.
And for those of you that remember that big 5-foot submarine of the USS Grayling, Dave was the one that put that together way back
Wild.
when. Bruce.
Bruce Martin, that's how he led the way in life. First off,
Yeah.
That's what I gotta start doing.
Former commander on the USS Buffalo in 1971 at 346.
Jack.
I'm Jack Rose. My call boat, first call boat, was the USS Segundo, SS 398 diesel. My second call boat was the USS MG Vallejo, SSBN 658 gold. Thank you.
I
Mike Lanu, qualified on the USS Queenfish, SSN 1 in June of 68. 1968.
Grant?
Grant Day. I qualified on the USS Benjamin Franklin, SSVN 640 in September of 1969. And I'm your base treasurer and membership chairman.
We're gonna go.
Lou.
Dale Bowman, I qualified on the Ulysses S. Grant SSBN 631 Blue in 1968, and I have the pleasure of being here with my lovely wife, Tammy, who is your storekeeper, and if I get really lucky, next month, I'll be married for 50 years.
All right. Yeah.
Dan Ballard, qualified on the USS Henry L. Stimson, SSBN 655 Blue. I qualified in October of 1989, and I'm your base secretary and your charitable foundation ambassador.
And my name's Paul Lee, Space Commander, and I'm here with my lovely wife, Julie. And I think we're pushing 21 years. Really. My first call boat was USS William H. Bates, SSN 680, in August of 1974. Then I went to the La Jolla, and then the last one was the USS Tennessee. And I can't remember which crew I was on. I was an initial manning crew, and when we split, I was only in the other crew for probably 6 months before I got transferred. Okay, so that's everybody. We don't have a speaker today, so if you have any ideas for speakers, Jeff Boswell has somebody he wants to talk to, so we'll try to get a speaker set up for April. I didn't want to hold one here for the first meeting because things always go haywire in the first meetings. So how many got my email about the honor bell artifacts? Ooh, all right. So for those of you that don't know, what happened is we have an honor bell, which is a 1,000-pound brass bell that was originally, what was it, like 2012 or something like that was when it was made. Been in service for about 6 or 7 years. And what they do is they go to all military funerals at Fort Logan. And they're also available for certain ceremonies. We had them last year on our memorial ceremony. Actually, Dale was the one that got the opportunity to strike the bell. And so what they did for that particular bell is they had 12 members of Colorado veterans donated different insignias, buttons, medals, whatever they wanted. And they actually belted them into the bell. Well, now we have another fort or another national cemetery down in Colorado Springs, Pikes Peak. And so they have raised enough money now to strike another bell, to get it melted. So they asked for artifacts. And my thought process was this would be perfect for a set of dolphins to go into that honor bell. It absolutely represents the individual that donated and every one of us here that's qualified submarines. But we had a hard time finding somebody. The first person we tried is Bart Garrett. You guys remember Bart? But they couldn't find any of his military stuff, no dolphins, no nothing. One of the criteria was that they had to be deceased, Colorado, living in Colorado or associated with Colorado. Then we tried for Cindy Pollock. Could never find. We tried multiple times, never got an answer from her. Then Dan Toskman. Dan was actually the very first military funeral that the honor bell was used at.
They hadn't even launched yet.
No, they hadn't. So he was like a practice. But talking with Cora, she just couldn't find anything. They had given one set went with him when he got buried, and one set went to the USS Colorado crew. If you remember, 3 years ago or 4 years ago, they were asking for dolphins to present to crew members. And then we tried Bill Staub. We couldn't get through to his wife, and so we finally were able to get Dick Myers. Not everybody knows Dick, but Dick was quite instrumental in the base. He also worked for FEMA, for disasters. He always shipped all over the place, helping with that. He also supported or sponsored 18 Vietnamese people from that when Vietnam was over with, and all those people that. So he sponsored the whole family. So we wrote everything together. Myra and Andy helped us write up the report and everything, and then we submitted it to Linda, who's the head of the Honor Bell Foundation. And I got a reply back from her saying that this weekend is when they're going to decide the 12 people that are going to go into the Bell. So we'll know probably in about a week. So I'll let everybody know email-wise whether we were able to get Dick in there or not. Okay? And yesterday was the last day that you could submit. So we got it in about a week ago. Okay, reefs across America. Remember the Fort Logan was doing a special. If you bought your reef between January 1st to January 30th or something like that, they would match. And so we purchased 24 reefs. And so we're having an additional 24 reefs that are going out to the general population. So we helped with that. Okay. This is something I found out about a month ago. If you want to get onto a government website, the VA, the IRS, Social Security, any of those websites, you have to use this special login. The one is either called id.me or login.gov. And another thing it does is like I purchased a truck last year and they had that $500 for military, but they wouldn't let me get that $500 until I logged in and ID at .me. So I had an account with them. I logged in. They saw and they said, "Okay, we'll give you the $500." So everybody's starting to use these two websites. ID and Me is a pain in the ass to try to get yourself into it. You have to take pictures of your driver's license front and back. Then you have to take a picture of yourself. Then they have to compare the two to make. And they keep asking these questions about open this other new tab or do this something on the. I couldn't figure it out, and I'm halfway decent on computer stuff. So Julie and I tried about 3 times and were unable to get her onto ID and Me. So we went to login.gov. 10 minutes later, she had an account with password and the whole shooting match. So the login.gov is a lot easier to get into. But the biggest one is the VA. If you're a member of the VA and you had your own portal, patient portal that you signed in on, it's not going to work as of the end of this month. You got to have one of these 2 accounts. Okay? Question?
True for my thing with USS.
You know what? I didn't have to use it. I have because they have a different way of making sure you're who you are. So
I'll let you know.
I got in on it like the 1st of January. I didn't have any issue. Yeah, so.
They'll let you know. They won't let you in if that's part of their program.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, so if you do, you might want to go to the login.gov. It's much easier to get yourself into that. Okay, Western Regional Roundup, March 6th through 9th. I believe Tammy and Dale and Julie and myself are going, and then Julie's brother is also going. And so we got 5 people from our base here that are going. It's expensive as hell. It was, what was it, 214 or 220 a room per night? And that was a greatly not reduced from what the normal cost is. Also, meals were expensive. Everything was expensive out there, but they had this goal that they had to meet. They had to do something that was called 200 room nights to be able to break even. Anything above that, they would make a profit. And the meeting I went to last week, they were guesstimating 125 to break even for registrations. They have 135. So they actually, and they raise money so that they have their own account of $10,000 to help pay for the hotel and the food, and then they earn the money back to go for the next year. And so they've raised actually $10,500 already. So that's working out pretty good. And we've been talking about doing the 2027 Western Regional Roundup here in Denver. And so I've had in conversations with their committee, I was just going to, and we have discussed it several times, and I believe we've decided that we're going to do it. There wasn't anybody that had any big heartache, so I'm going to run through real quick a few of the items that we have to do as a host. You get a swag bag at the beginning, so we're going to be the ones that have to package it up. All the items are supplied by the committee. Flags and flag stands, tolling of the tolling of the boats, a PA system, missing man items, volunteer coordinator for 3 days. We have to man the hospitality room, and we need a coordinator to do that. A chaplain, a color guard, speakers, one for lunch and one for a dinner. A photo. They do a master photo at the very end of everybody that was there, and then it goes onto their website. So we got Jeff and Bruce both that run their own photos. So both of them can do that. We need an auctioneer. I think Andy would be good at that. A couple guest speakers. I think Larry, you said something about possibly getting a Space Command somebody or somebody at your place there. I was also thinking a good would be Robert Williscroft. Those of you that heard his Ivy Bells operations talk was pretty good. And that's about it. So the money is all put up by the committee. And then registration and the hotel that you pay for, the rooms. In auction, they have an auction that goes on. And donations are usually how they pay for the whole thing. The Seattle one, which had 150 people, I believe. Bremerton, and they ended up with about $4,000 in their bank account at the end of the base. So they're thinking since it'll be the first time in the Denver area, it might turn out pretty good. So when we get a little closer, we're going to need to get a committee together. It's usually about 3 or 4 people. We have to find some venues, which are hotels that'll have the capability of supporting this get together. And next year is going to be in Las Vegas. And the Las Vegas base, they call themselves Area 51. They've already got 4 venues picked out, and so when we're at the roundup here in March, they'll put out which venue they're going to go to for next year. So that's something that we'll have to do is give them several venues before the end or by the beginning of the 2026 regional roundup. Okay, remember 2026, the 50th anniversary for the Grayling Memorial. That'll be 50 years since it was put in. We'd like to have a plaque commemorating the anniversary and the new flagpole. We had a lot of donations on getting that flagpole put up. We would like those people to be recognized. We're looking for a design. If you have some good artistic thought, think about Colorado, think about the memorial. We need to get a plaque, and it's going to take us a while to get one made. First, we have to get one designed, then we got to get one made, and we're only a year away. So please, if you have some input, let us know. Yes, Rick. What's that now? The 2026 is the 50th anniversary, and it was done in September of 76, right? Was when it was donated, or when it was commissioned, the memorial. Yes, 2026. And so from 1976 to 2026 years. Okay, we're going to be doing the installing the lift at the working. We need a working party, and that's going to be March 22nd up at our tent. And Grant, would you like to say a couple things about our design for the plaque? If you remember, for those that looked at our submarine float, it's got that big wooden plaque that sits underneath the submarine right now. It says USS Grayling SS-209. We've got some ideas of what we want to do with that.
Oh, you got me on a short leash.
Yeah.
Oh, I need it, yeah. That's what my wife says all the time. Anyhow, we have, as you know, those plaques are, we're going to be totally dismantling the way it's mounted. Hold it right up to you like
Mounted
that.
currently. What? Yeah. Anyhow, we're going to be totally dismounting the way that it's currently set up. And based on the fact that we're all a bunch of old farts right now, instead of having us to lift it up over and set it on the mounting pillars in the middle of the boat, we are going to be installing a scissors lift that will be able to lift it both manually with a winch and or electrically with the same winch. And so that way we can lift it up and down, and 1 or 2 people can do it, since we need to get more people out to when we go to a parade or whatever. But now we can go out and 1 person will be able to lift this up into operational position. Also, well, we're looking at the capabilities of when we go to dive, we'll be able to lower the boat down, and when we surface, we can raise the boat back up again into the operating position. So we'll add a little extra movement to the standing issue right now. But what we've got is we're going to be cutting out the current mounting points of the name placards that are on the side of the boat that say USS Grayling SS-209. And we're going to remove those placards, and we're going to refinish or refurbish those placards. And the question that we have is, how do we want to refinish them? And so I did a little brainstorming, and we came down with these options. And what we'll do is
take this document and email it to you so that you can make your selections, email it back to us, and then we can take the best selections out of it. To give you an idea what we're looking at, currently they are a natural background with white letters. So the letters and the name really don't pop out at you. So you want to have a good contrast between the letters and the background. So that we're looking at possibly a white background with either black letters or gold letters. Then another option is a black background with white letters or gold letters. The next would be a blue background, since the rest of the trailer is a blue color, with white letters or gold letters. And a natural with varnish background with white letters or gold letters. So those are the options. And if you want to see some ideas, take on your way out of here today, swing by the memorial and take a look at the placards that we have up, because they have all been finished with black background with gold letters, and it really stands out and pops out at you. So you can take a look at that and see, to help you make your decision. But we'll email this to you so that you can then select what you think is the best option that you want, and then we'll take the total and go with it. Okay. In the meantime, right.
Both of your sailors, ride new boats or run new boats, qualified as new boats. Why not a blue background with gold, with a blue and gold cruise?
Well, that's a good option.
Both are new boats in our.
And most of the boats were black anyhow. So anyhow, and think about the black boat with the white letters whenever they had letters on them before they got printed off. That you could see that for a long way away. So keep these ideas in mind, and at the next meeting for sure we'll get the totals and we'll tell you what we're going to be doing with it. While I'm here, and to reiterate, on March 22nd is step one of our transition to the new lifting mechanism. And that is to take and modify the trailer so that we can then position the new lift in the center of our current setup. So we need at least 6 people out there to help us move the boat around so that we can clean out the center and get it done. So mark that in your calendars, March 22nd, rain or shine. We've got to get this going. We've got the tent that we can work under. So as long as it's not below 0 and 6 feet of snow on the ground, we're going to get it done. Okay? And that's out at this house. Yes. And
Family's house, not
107 Aspen in Frederick. So we'll probably be starting around 9 in the morning. Maybe get to work by 10. We're not sure what we're going to do. At least coffee and donuts or something to start with, and then say again. Whatever. But anyhow, then we'll get started on tearing that trailer apart and putting it back together again. Preparation for day 2. And day 2, it'll have a little different schedule in the fact that you'll meet at my house so that we can move the lift onto my truck, and then we'll all go up to Dale's place so that we can then position the lift onto the trailer. The lift mechanism weighs about 200 pounds. So I've got a winch that we can winch it into my truck if we need to. We just need to pivot it around to get into the back of my truck, so that we'll have a lot of assistance there. But we do need the bodies to take and move things around once we get it to the trailer. March 22nd is the start. The lift at my house will be a day that we decide after that point. Most likely, hopefully the next day, so that we can get the job done. So it'll be a Saturday and Sunday. Okay.
Any more questions? Thank you. Remember, we need to get it all done before our parade season starts. Jeff, was that first one's like in June or something like that? Or did they start in May? Okay. So we got to make sure we get it all set before the season starts. Okay, switching membership. Post 161 to post 17. How many here are American Legion members? So I highly recommend that we switch over. This supports the post here. They're graciously allowing us this place for free. So Leslie said that she'd be available after the meeting. All you need to do is have your ID card, and she can fill out all the paperwork and take care of that, and they can start getting our fund. Okay, let's go through the birthdays before we take a break for cake. Somebody might want to go up and start cutting the cake. Okay, Dennis Mays, the 14th. Randy Ackerman, the 16th. John Marinucci, the 17th. Jack is the 19th. And Mike, you're the 24th. Now, Robert Marcia brought a cake. Jack brought a cake. And who brought the third one? No, Marcia had the chocolate cake, right? Or did you guys bring two cakes? Damn, they brought two. So now we got two real large cakes and a small chocolate cake. Okay, so birthdays for March. No, I said February. Now we're on March.
Oh, we're on March.
Larry Goddard is the first. Dick Life is the 10th. Andy, the 10th. Andy and Myra here are off visiting the family. That's why they're not here. Dennis, where's Dennis? There you are, the 14th. Don Price, the 23rd. Kathy Inoni, the 25th. Trey Moody and Barbara. Also, so we have somebody volunteer for a cake next month. Barbara and Dennis have volunteered. Good, let me check them off. You heard it? Okay, let's take a break. Coffee and cake. Oh. The minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes that were in our newsletter? If not, we'll accept them as published. Grant, let's go through the treasury report.
Get some money, he spent it. All gone.
Tell them about the lift.
About it.
How much money was spent and what you donated.
Oh, no. What? There you go. No, put it away. I wanted to keep everybody in suspense. Just wait a minute. Hold on to your shorts. I got to get this out so I can read it. Getting like everybody else. I noticed as I was looking at other people's phones as they were working with me today, they all have bigger text. What does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah, but then you'd have one letter, and you just keep going down one letter at a time. Yeah. Okay, so I did my best to spend everything, but I didn't. Anyhow, for the month of January,
We had a total income of $945, and that was mostly from the auction that we had. So that was very successful. And we had a little bit of sales income from our sales of our storekeepers stuff. But again, $945. And we had a total of $475.74 of expenses, which included base dues or national dues, base operating expenses. We purchased some Quicken software for this computer for the treasurer's laptop. And then we have some office supplies, which included new binders and partitions and stuff for the year 2025. Basic stuff that's recurring every year. And again, some storekeeper purchases of $38. So we had a net profit for the month of January of $469.26. We'd like to do that every month because then we can support our projects that we have on the memorial and stuff. We're just about done with the memorial projects, and then we can start planning ahead for routine maintenance. I mean, these are some major projects that we had. And just to give you an idea, we had I've submitted receipts for $1,250 that we spent on the lift mechanism for our trailer lift. And I should have that checked back from National from our Memorial Day fund at National in about 2 weeks. And so that will help us out in our operations going forward. But I would like to recommend, if you would like to make a charitable donation, make it to the USSVCF Rocky Mountain Memorial Fund, specifically say that. And then that will go into our memorial fund that we can tap into to take and pay for the expenses so we can keep our operations fund here and not be spending it on the memorials themselves. Another little bit of trivia for you is that every year since we started the Caps for Kids account, we have been paying a $25 Colorado Secretary of State corporate fund or corporate payment of $25. Came to find out just a couple of months ago that is National's responsibility. And so we have received the $25, at least for this last year, $25 payment to refund us for the payment that we just paid to National. And they are taking over that responsibility from me so that I will no longer have to be worried about the Colorado corporate fund. So that's good news. And the way that they found out about it was one of the other bases decided that, I think it was in Phoenix, they decided that they had to do something with their Secretary of State, and they used us as an example of how to do the setup. And when they did it that way, they said they would not take it because they listed their name, their base's name, for the USSVI name, and it was rejected because there's no corporation that is listed as whatever the base was. And so I said, this is how we have it set up. And they said, Grant, you're absolutely right. That's the way it's supposed to be done, and we will refund you your money. I said, thank you very much. All contributions gracefully accepted. So anyhow, we have $1,250 coming back. We did receive $459 worth of donations to help with the memorial work with the lift, and we're proceeding on from there. So if you could even make $10 a month going into our memorial fund at the Rocky Mountain Charitable Foundation, then as we build that fund, we start making interest on it too. and that adds to our capabilities to maintain the memorials in the way that they should be maintained. Any questions? Thank you. That is real sharp.
That's because I got the ball.
Oh,
So that donation of $490 is coming from Grant. For those of you that know, he's the one that's putting up all the money for this. Where do you want this back?
yeah.
Okay, committee members. So we have a new committee member, which is the USSVCF, which is the Charitable Foundation. And our ambassador for that is Dan. So he's got a couple words he wants to talk.
So a couple weeks ago, I got an email from Bob Bachman, and he was talking about how we need to start publicizing the USSVCF in all of our bases. We have 35 base ambassadors throughout the United States that represent each base. Not every base is represented yet, but a lot of them are. And so they had asked us to start publicizing more about VCF and what it does and how it works. So I got with Paul and I said, we should maybe make this part of a committee of one, so that I can bring this to you every month and talk about a different fund and how you can help with funding some of these different funds that are part of the USSVCF. So the one I wanted to talk about today was it's the Living Legacy Fund. It's a program under the USSVCF. That funds several different initiatives, including maintenance of memorials, museums, educational programs, and teach younger generations about the importance of the submarine service. It also preserves the historical artifacts and resilience alive for future generations. But one of the really neat things about the Legacy Fund is that it continues through perpetuity. In other words, they never touch the principal. So if you put money into the Legacy Fund, you can put it in under your name. For instance, if you want it in memory of you or memory of some family member that was on the submarine, you can create a living legacy under their name. You can donate. You don't have to fund it all at once. You can fund it with $20 a month. You just have a general donation going to that, and maybe have a goal of $1,000. That $1,000 will never go away. It'll just be applied to the legacy fund, and then what they get is the interest off of those funds, and that's how they use that money to support all the different activities that the fund provides for. So with that, what he had suggested was, this is Bob, was that he wanted to do $1,000 a year. And so he did $84 a month, just set it up on an automatic payment out of his checking account. And basically, all he ever misses it. And that will fund it. You can also do it out of your IRA too, if you have IRAs, and then you're not taxed on it. Instead of having to do your annual minimal distribution, if you do it towards a charity fund, then that's not taxable income. That's another way to fund the legacy. So next month, I will talk more about the memorial fund. But one of the things that, like Grant was saying, is if you donate to the memorial fund at the USSVCF and do it under the Rocky Mountain base, it's a tax deductible donation if you do it through national. But if you do it directly to the base, then it's not tax deductible. So it's important to do it through the main or through national. Thank you.
Remember that the Charitable Foundation is the one that allowed us to put the flagpole up and all of the maintenance we did on the memorial. And it's also helping us with the lift. And so it's a good cause. It goes to good items. Tammy, what do you got?
I just wanted to lay out what t-shirts I had. And you had clothing that I have from the strip people. How much people there's $10. We have mediums, larges, and extra larges, and t-shirts, and there's pullover stuff, and I think a couple of polos. So if anybody's interested in anything like that, $10 today.
Also remember, if you have anything that you want sewed on your vest, Tammy's the one to contact. And she can actually do all sorts of neat stuff with her little computer sewing machine.
It is a little.
That's a little. Okay. Patrick, you got anything?
Not really. Got a place out there. Thank, Dennis and Dan for checking things out, correcting me.
Okay, just remember that if we do some functions and you take some pictures like parades and stuff like that, make sure you always send some to Patrick and to Jeff so that they can get it in the newsletter and on the website. Gaps for kids. Well, how many were here last month and we had that gentleman show up, that Eric Ryle, that said that he thought he could take over? We haven't heard a word from him since.
Scary thought.
Yeah, so we're still looking for gaps for kids. Harry? No, yes, maybe? Okay. Still not up to speed? Okay, so we're still looking for caps for kids chairman. If that's something the two new guys might be interested in, basically what we do is we go to the Children's Hospital or to Ronald McDonald's house, and we hand out once a quarter, and we hand out submarine hats for the boys and girls, and we have coloring books, and we give them a little certificate making them honorary submariners. So it's a lot of fun, but it's been a year since we've had anybody running it, so we could sure use somebody to step up. Bingo! It's okay. It's going to be February 19th on Wednesday, starting at 10 o'clock. Now, Andy and Myra are out of town, so who's going to be able to make it? I'm going to be able. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bruce? I'm working. Oh, you son of a gun. Okay, 5 should be able to do it. 1 caller and 4 people wandering. Okay, parade, we're not quite there, Jeff, so we still got a little ways to go. Okay, UVC, I attended their last executive board meeting and general meeting. Just a few notes here. They just opened a new Colorado VA clinic, and it's in Aurora, and it was opened on January 27th. So if you're in that area, so they got a brand new VA clinic. Claim Shark state bills. I sent out a call to action on an email. I'm hoping most of you got it there where you can write to the state representatives and senators so that we can get this bill passed. And basically what it is you have a lot of attorneys that are advertising that they will file all your paperwork so you can get your VA benefits based on the PACT Act. Well, you can go to any American Legion or VFW and they can do the same thing for you for free. But these shark claim people, claim sharks they call them, sometimes they charge 25, 30. In one case, it was 50% of what the veteran got for life. His benefits went on a monthly payment, and these people were getting 50% of what he got every month. Luckily, that came to the attention of the American Legion state representative and the VFW state representative, and we went to court and got that squashed. So, but this bill will say that the only people that can do this filing are people that are actually registered to the VA. And when you register to the VA, you're limited on what you can charge. And it's usually around 10% of what your first bonus is. So that's going to be coming out. They're going to try to get it passed this session. And I'll keep everybody up to informed with how it's going. It's already gone to the floor a couple times in a couple readings. So we'll see where it goes from there. At the same time, the UVC has a couple of, what are those people that No, the ones that talk to the senators and legislative, the lobbyists. So they have their own lobbyists. They actually have two of them, and they put out some information. The state of Colorado is in a shortfall of $250 million this year. So that means a lot of the VA programs may be short on money. So they're going to see what they can to get things fixed on that. So we've talked about the memorial and the float. Let me ask you, so after this meeting, myself and Julie, we're going to go into the bar and we're going to have a couple beers. And so I'm hoping people will join us. And this could be like another little social get together along with what we did this morning at 11 o'clock to 12. Do people still want to do the quarterly get together at some brewery or restaurant or something like that on a Saturday? We still want to do that? Yes, no, up. We got a couple of fingers up.
Or would you rather?
Or would you not? Just do this. Somebody said, who wants to continue with the quarterly social events? Raise your hand. About 3 or 4. Who wants to think we're just going to do it here at the American Legion? Okay. Bruce, you're off the hook.
That's why you raised your hand.
JJ, you got anything on the Colorado?
Yeah, we had a call with the CO here a week or two ago, and looks like there's still an overhaul in Pearl Harbor, still in dry dock. You're getting out out of dry dock by the end of the year, out of overhaul sometime next year. But we are looking at having a crew visit out here in May sometime. We don't have any dates yet, and consequently, we don't have an agenda, but we're starting to talk about it, and we're starting to talk to their lawyers and funders and everything to get something second. So when we get more information about that, we'll let you know all know. Yeah.
Are you planning any kind of trip there once they get more seaworthy and ready to go when they're put back together?
Yeah, we'd like to have a trip sometime. After they get it right out. Not sure when that will be. So.
When they were here last, when I spoke to the last CEO, he talked about, he thought maybe later this year would be a good time to do it when the boat's not chopped up.
Yeah, like I said, they should get out of dry dock by the end of the year, so they should be somewhat back together again. Yeah. Well, we continue to ask for opportunities when we can come.
Do you know how the party went? They had like a
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know any more than we put a picture on our Facebook page, I think, and we got a picture. But yeah, so we did send out. They had a cruise party. It's basically a holiday party. They had it in February because they had let everybody go on leave. They had a couple phases, but everybody got leave over the holidays at some point, and so now everybody's back, and they had a party. Looks like it was at a nice place, and we had asked for to support them with gifts and stuff. If any of you are on our newsletter, and that went very well. There were a bunch of people supported that, and supposedly the crew, the captain sending out thank you letters sometime for that. But as far as you know, it went very well. It looks like any place in Hawaii is a beautiful place to have a party like that. So.
Okay, good. So last, what date was that, Gary, that we had our move? That was in January, wasn't it, our audit for the treasurer?
Yeah, 19.
The 19th of January, we found a couple problems. Right now, our Caps for Kids has Jimmy Alfaro still as a member of the on the account, a name on the account, and Grant. So I generated a letter for us to remove Alfaro and to put me on that account. And then the other one was, what was the one that was over your name on it? Was that
That's Caps.
Caps for Kids? The other one, Our operations fund is the one that has Jim's name on it. And so I generated 2 letters and Dan signed them. So I'm get together with Grant here over the next week or so, and we'll go and get the name purged on one and mine added to 2 of those. Another reminder, American Legion Flag Company. I think I've told you guys a couple times. We've had 30, 40, 50-mile-an-hour gusts up at our place, 9,400 feet. It's just every flag I put up just gets ripped within 2 or 3 months. I've had this American Legion flag up there now for almost 6 months. And there's not one thread that has come loose on that thing. So we're going to always do the American Legion Flag Company. Now the last thing is national award. So the national has broken up the sizes of the bases, and we fall in one category. In each category, there's 4 of them. They'll be giving out national awards. And I think it's about time that we started submitting some people for these national awards, both as a base and as an individual. And so we have generated a committee. Larry is going to be the chair. I'm going to be on it. Ray said he would be on it, and Dale. And the February 1st through April 30th is the time for submittal. So we'll start getting some write-ups done and we'll submit. There's about 3 of them that we would like to submit people for. So that's something we're going to be working on here shortly. Okay, after the meeting, remember, Leslie's going to be available for us to convert yourself from 161 to 17, or in the case of Dick, he's another different post, but he's got to get his paperwork. So there'll be a few people that'll be doing it next month instead of this month. Also, next month, we're going to have the new business cards available with all the correct information on them. And how anybody like the hamburger and fries? Do we want to continue with it, or do we want to do smothered burritos, or do we want to do tacos? Any input?
Taco bar.
We have a taco bar. So I guess they decided tacos next time. Okay, let's do the 50-50. Anybody else good for the order? Go ahead, Ray.
I'm not trying to pull, and 17 is not trying to pull a 161 on subbase. We do have a couple of upcoming conflicts between Legion Nationals or Legion conferences in Colorado, District 5, coming up in April. And we have another conflict with June Legion 17's car show. The car show's already been advertised. They've got t-shirts being printed with dates, flyers out all over the place. Leslie is the club manager here. I'll take that back. She's the boss. Anyways, I think the first one, the conflict in April with national or state, whatever it is, district. They're at what time?
12.
8 to 12 on the third Saturday
Okay,
of
so
April, not March, April.
April. So March still looks good.
It's still
Good. And then so we have
we push this back to like 1 to 3 on that Saturday afternoon.
so there that sounds fine to me. That way you won't have to service anything because people will probably already eat lunch.
So we have, she just brought this up to me. It's her fault. Anyways, we can work on the car show. It's pretty much the third Saturday. It's what are the hours? I think like 10 to 2 or something like that. I don't know.
And you use the space.
Shows an all day thing.
So you do it like on a different floor?
We could do that. We could move it 1 week forward or 1 week back for that month.
Is that what it?
No, that was in June.
I'm in June is the car show.
Yeah.
And that's been in May, but in April we have a convention.
We just kept it.
So we need to talk. So if you want to,
3 hours.
do later, or if you want to move it up to a different Saturday, whatever you want to do.
What would people like to do on that particular Saturday? You want to just move it to 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock?
Yeah, just move it 1 hour.
Okay. Okay, we'll do that for March. April, excuse me, April. Yep. And then when we get closer to June, Eileen, you have something? Well, it depends on how much time you guys need from them to finish until when we can come in here. 2 to 4 o'clock then. Yeah.
1 to 2.
But we can social out in the bar if we wanted to. Because there won't be any food to serve. Jack.
Hopefully all of this will be in the cavitation.
Yeah.
Good.
I will be, do you get your email still or are you still having problems with email? Okay, because I will keep everybody informed.
Yes.
Gary,
And I didn't realize I was going to be in conflict, but on March 22nd, when Grant and the gang are doing the lift thing, the Veterans Museum in Broomfield is holding an all-day Vietnam symposium. We're going to talk about how we got into it, what happened there from different veterans' experiences, and what's happened since we've been there. So that's an all-day thing at the auditorium in Broomfield. So it's an option for those that don't want to get into the lifting matter.
So remember when we did the audit, you were telling me about all the different schools you guys go to and other things you do.
Yeah, we're set up in March and April to go to a couple of the middle schools to present, and we're always looking for veterans to go to that.
Okay, so can you submit something to me that gives dates and times?
We
And
got set up.
we'd like to start working with the museum, Broomfield Museum, on all they do. Tremendous amount of community outreach and stuff like that. So it's a kick in the pants to go talk to these kids and explain to them everything that's going on. Okay, anything else new for the, or good for the order?
What are we doing in June?
June, we haven't decided yet. I think we'll either move it up a week or drop it a week.
Move it up. Move it up.
Okay, well, we're gonna move it up 1 week in June. Does that work for you? Okay. Now, the 50-50. Mr. Larry. You're gonna have to remind me before we break for coffee and cake to holler out 50-50 each time. I forgot this time.
He did it.
Who did it? He did. Oh, all right. Okay.
Oh, man.
Nine, 528.
Sure, my number this time.
You don't get this?
Everyone, if you tell it's all I know.
$53. No, that's a big one. Tammy's buying. Tammy's buying.
Yeah. Okay, so when we do break, make sure you clear your table off with all the cups and plates, trash can in the back. The chairs need to be turned upside down onto the tables. And we'll probably need some help bringing these bigger tables into the back and put them away. Oh, I already talked to them. If you, whatever's left over on the cake, they have a place out in the lounge where they put all the goodies and stuff that people bring. So whatever's left on the cake, we can give it to the post. Okay, so let's now leave this quiet and tranquil life that we know in the deep and return to the reality of the surface world. Surface, surface, surface. Stand, please stand.
Fine. Dear Lord, as we wrap up our gathering today, we thank you for bringing together this band of brothers and sisters who share the unique bond of submarine service. Thank you for the stories shared, the memories recalled, and the friendship that continues to unite us long after our days beneath the waves. Watch over our shipmates who couldn't be with us today due to health or distance. Keep them in your care until we meet again. We especially remember our brothers still on internal patrol. May their families feel our love and support. Guide us safely home from this meeting. Help us carry forward the spirit, camaraderie, and service that brought us together today. Keep our base strong, our bonds tight, and our memories alive. Until we gather again, protect all submariners currently standing the watch around the world. May they serve with pride and return safely to their loved ones. Lord, we thank you for this time together. Amen.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. Okay, we're adjourned. Oh man, it's getting way too much like work.
Okay.